Okay, so this is the four disciplines of execution, which I promised to send. Unlocking success through strategic focus. Okay, so this is from the book of Stephen Covey. Now, the four disciplines of execution is a global training for leaders and, as I mentioned, our LPU school. No, uh, send it sent the senior leaders before to the Covey Foundation's Four Disciplines of Execution, which featured, I think it also included our presidents. No? So this is being run now by I think, the children of Stephen Covey. Okay, so the Four Disciplines of Execution provides a structured approach to achieving strategic goals amid the distractions of day-to-day operations. Yung tinatawag na whirlwind. No? Recognizing the challenges of executing plans, these disciplines serve as a guide for organizations striving for tangible results. So, overview of execution framework. The four disciplines of execution consist of specific methods to improve focus and accountability. They challenge organizations to prioritize their goals, act on lead measures, maintain visual scoreboards, and establish a system of accountability to fulfill their strategies effectively. So, what is the importance of execution in organizational success? According to the presentation, no, of Stephen Covey, the original, more than 90% of plans, so strategic plans, they are good plans, but they eventually don't make it. So it's the error of execution. Effective execution transforms the strategic plans into tangible outcomes. So organizations that implement the four disciplines of execution can experience improved alignment, increased employee engagement, and enhanced ability to reach critical goals, ultimately driving success and sustainability. So, what are the key aspects of the effective execution? Effective execution hinges on clarity and objectives, rigorous tracking of performance, therefore the existence of the scoreboard, and then fostering a culture of accountability. Okay, so we will talk about that in later slides. Each discipline addresses unique challenges, ensuring that teams stay committed, informed, and proactive in achieving their goals. So now we introduce the four disciplines. So the first discipline is focusing on the wildly important. So focusing on the most critical goals is essential for successful integration, or sorry, successful execution. So the first discipline emphasizes prioritizing on few key objectives. So maybe three to four. There's even one organization that has only one wildly important goal. No? So talagang focus. So few key objectives to ensure impactful outcomes, thereby avoiding the common pitfall of spreading efforts too thin. So that's why in LPU, for example, the school that implemented it, there are only four goals, while the important goals, and as far as I know, they correspond to the four perspective of the scorecard. Diba? So the learning and growth, operations, which is in this case education operations, and then there's a customer focus, which is student outcomes, and then financial outcomes, which is in enrollment. Okay, definition and purpose. Discipline 1 focuses on identifying and committing to the wildly important goals that drive an organization's success. By honing in on these goals, teams can channel their energy towards measurable and impactful outcomes, fostering alignment and accountability across all levels. So identifying wildly important goals, or WIGs ng tinatawag, no? WIGs must be specific, measurable, and achievable within a specified time frame. Effective identification involves collaboration across teams to ensure clarity and consensus, promoting motivated participation and ownership of results. That's why they are wildly important. So, in fact, in one of the companies that I consulted, we said that yung wigs, all of the training, all of the activities align to the wildly important goals. Ayan. So methods to prioritize focus, to prioritize effectively. Organizations can employ strategies like the Eisenhower matrix, yeah, to distinguish urgent from important tasks. No? So Stephen Covey, this is a Seven Habits of Effective People. He also mentioned something like this. No, regular reflections and reviews help teams adjust their focus, ensuring alignment with the overarching goals and promoting efficiency. Okay, and then we go to the discipline number two, which is acting on lead measures. Ito, actually, this is the first time that when I was reading this, of course, this is about 10 years ago already for me. So yung acting on lead measures, dito ko talaga siya na-appreciate, no? Yung lead and lag measures, which is actually aligning to the balance scorecards and strategy focus outcomes of Kaplan and Norton. No? So yung lead measures, pag nag-focus ka sa lead measures, it's actually crucial for driving desired outcomes. Kasi when you talk about lag measures like sales, increase sales, and then you report the sales, but it's something that's already done, right? So but if you focus on the lead measures, you act on the lead measures, then desired outcomes follow. So you are measuring something that still you still have an a clout about, no? Umaga, it doesn't just become like a reporting. 'Di ba? So parang meron ka pang magagawa do'n kasi nga lead measure siya, eh, kesa lag measures. Lag measures yung mga like sales, tapos na, eh. So you're just reporting it for the sake of bonus, 'di ba? So ang lead measures would be like how many, for example, kung medrep ka, no, how many doctors have you talked to, 'di ba? So 'pag in-increase mo 'yon, you know that the bottom line will also increase, right? So parang gano'n, no? So understanding the distinction between the lead and the lag measures empower the teams to prioritize their efforts effectively. Okay? Ano ba yung lead and lag? No? So lead are predictive. Ayan. Importante dito yung lead measures, that critical lead measures. No? Sila yung nag-predict and influence the future outcomes while lag measures are already historical in they are indicating results after the fact. So lead measures would include activities like customer outreach. Lag measures would reflect yung nga, sales revenue generated after such efforts. So parang the lead influence the lag. So why do you focus on the lead? Because the lead will eventually predict the lag measures. Ayan. Okay, identifying key lead measures, ayan, no, yung mga critical, requires focusing on the behaviors and activities directly linked to achieving goals. Engaging team feedback and analyzing past performance data can help prioritize which metrics to track as lead measures. So, regular tracking or lead measures allows for timely insights and course corrections. Okay, implementing weekly reviews can help the team stay aligned with their goals and adapt strategies based on performance dynamics observed. So now we go to the discipline number three because you've already seen, focusing on the lead measures. So now we have to keep a compelling scoreboard. A compelling scoreboard is essential for tracking progress and maintaining focus on goals. It allows teams to visualize their success. O kaya lang, nakikita yan eh. Fostering accountability and motivation. Without a clear scoreboard, teams may struggle to understand their performance and stay aligned with organizational objectives. Okay? Ano yung importansya ng visual scoreboard? Visual scoreboard transform abstract data into clear, understandable metrics. By presenting information graphically, they enhance awareness and drive engagement. Teams that utilize visual scoreboard consistently outperform those that rely solely on verbal updates because it keeps accomplishments and objectives visible to everyone involved. Ayan. Kumbaga sa Toyota Way, ito naman yung tinatawag na Meruka board. Ayan. So align talaga to eh. And then align din siya sa knowledge management kasi nakatingin siya sa isang visual scoreboard that everybody sees. Okay? Designing an effective scoreboard. An effective scoreboard should be simple, relevant, and actionable. It must display key performance indicators in real time, emphasizing color coding to indicate performance level. Yan, ano pa, no, naka-color coding. Yung stoplight na tinatawag, no, if you're familiar with that. The design should cater to team needs, ensuring that every member can quickly interpret the data presented. Engaging teams with scoreboards. So, to maximize the impact of scoreboards, regular updates and team discussions about performance are crucial. Recognitions of achievements and addressing shortfalls. Halimbawa, ito nga ang ginagawa namin dito dati is that, halimbawa, you're focusing on the lead, right? And then, yung number of scholars, for example, nag-exam, kasi ang translation rate namin yan like 50%. So, like day to day, kino-compare yan versus last year. So, every time there's a shortfall, 'di ba? It will make you more masipag. Parang everybody is looking at that. So team effort siya eh. It will boost the morale of people kasi may team activity na tumitingin diyan, no? So hindi ka na nagkakaroon ng less morale. In fact, more morale kasi you know that you are backed up by your team. So it encourages peer accountability because those are your metrics. 'Di ba? Engaging team members helps develop a culture of ownership and commitment towards shared goals. Ayan, dapat shared goals. And then lastly, we have the discipline number 4, which is creating a cadence of accountability. Establishing a cadence of accountability is crucial for maintaining focus on goals and ensuring team members are actively engaged in their responsibilities. So ito usually nakikita to by weekly meetings, no? Regularly scheduled accountability meetings, no? Discuss mo rin yung scoreboard, 'di ba? May foster a culture of commitment and facilitate progress tracking. So, regular accountability meetings provide a structured forum for discussing progress, challenges, and next steps. Whether you call it a huddle or sometimes depende mo tawagin yan na quality circle, no? Depending sa ginagawa ng company. So, pwede kasing imbis na cross-functional teams yun, edi yung quality circle nyo sa inyong office, di ba? Pwedeng ganun. So, pero mas maganda, lahat ay involved, no? So, this meeting should be consistent. Yan, consistent every week. Tuesday. Ganun dapat. Time-bound and focus on specific goals to ensure that team members remain aligned and accountable for their roles in achieving objectives. And then ito, yung creating a system of follow-up. So an effective follow-up system is essential for tracking commitments made during accountability meetings. Ikaw mismo actually ang nag-ano niyan sa cadence of accountability, ikaw mismo ang nagpa-follow up sa sarili mo kasi nakalagay sa board yan scoreboard mo na ito yung promise mo last week. Tapos hindi mo nagawa, di ba? So parang ito yung team version ng one-minute manager. So, one-minute manager kasi paisa-isa mo silang tinatanong Pero ito, like, it's a team. Okay, so meron kayong shared digital tracker. Hindi naman kailangan na kailangan na digital to, pero may Ruka board lang parang sa Toyota, nakaganyan lang nasa board lang. So yan, it can facilitate transparency and regular updates on progress towards action assigned to team members. So encouraging team commitment and ownership, fostering a sense of ownership among team members is vital for driving results. Empowering individuals to take initiative through recognition and accountability reinforces their commitment, leading to increased motivation and better performance outcomes. Diba? So that's what discipline of execution is all about. I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, yung number 2 pala, balikan natin yung number 2. Balikan natin number 2. Ayan. So si number 2, align itong si discipline 2, which is yung act on lead measures. Actually, align siya sa Pareto principle, no? Kasi maraming measures but you focus on the lead measures. So parang 80-20 rule, di ba? Ganun din naman si WIG number, yung si uh, identifying the wildly important goals. Maraming goals, maraming metrics, but ano yung pinaka wildly important for you? Parang what makes it a super important goal? Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much.